Have you heard about the miracles of Saint Anthony of Padua? Known as the matchmaker saint and the protector of lost items, Saint Anthony is a figure revered by millions of people around the world. His miracles, however, go far beyond popular stories. They reveal a life dedicated to faith, love for others, and divine intervention. Today, we will embark on a journey through the miraculous events that marked the life of this extraordinary saint. Born in Lisbon, Portugal, in the year 1195, Fernando de Bulhos, who later adopted the name Anthony, grew up in a noble family. From an early age, he showed an inclination toward spirituality and religious studies. His excellent education, combined with a deep desire to serve God, led him to join the Augustinian monastery of St. Vincent. Little did he know that this would be just the beginning of a life of miracles and unshakable faith. Since childhood, Fernando displayed a compassionate heart and a curious mind. His wealthy and influential family ensured that he had access to the best education available at the time. However, unlike many young people of his position, Fernando was not seduced by worldly pleasures. Instead, he dedicated his time to religious studies and meditation, always seeking a deeper meaning in his life. At the age of 15, he made the decision that would change his destiny forever. He entered the Augustinian monastery of St. Vincent in Lisbon. There, he found an environment of peace and reflection, where he could devote himself entirely to spiritual pursuit. During his time at the monastery, Fernando deepened his knowledge of theology, philosophy, and sacred scriptures, standing out for his intelligence and devotion. The name change to Anthony occurred when he joined the Franciscan order in 1220. Inspired by the examples of humility and simplicity of the followers of Saint Francis of Assisi, he decided to abandon his previous life and embrace a life of poverty and service. From that moment on, his life took a course of intense missionary and miraculous activity. Anthony traveled through various regions, preaching and teaching with an eloquence that captivated everyone. His ability to communicate and his deep knowledge of the scriptures attracted crowds, and soon reports of extraordinary events associated with him began to emerge. His words not only touched hearts, but also seemed to have the power to heal and transform lives. The recognition of his virtues and miracles led to his rapid rise within the order. Anthony became one of the most respected and admired preachers of his time, gaining fame for his holiness and the wonders he performed. His journey, however, was just beginning, and the miracles he would perform throughout his life would leave an indelible mark on the history of the Church. Fernando's life changed drastically when he encountered the Franciscan order. The simplicity, humility, and devotion of this order enchanted him. Determined to follow this path, Fernando became Anthony and embarked on a mission of preaching and teaching that would take him to various places. His eloquence and theological knowledge soon stood out, attracting followers and converting many to Christianity. It was during this phase that reports of the first miracles attributed to him began to emerge. The decision to join the Franciscans was not easy. Fernando faced resistance from his family and friends, who did not understand his choice to abandon a life of comfort and security to follow a path of poverty and sacrifice. However, his determination and faith were unwavering. He knew that this was his true vocation and was willing to face any obstacle to follow it. Upon becoming a Franciscan friar, Anthony adopted an austere lifestyle and dedicated himself entirely to prayer, study, and service to the poor. His devotion and discipline soon caught the attention of his superiors, who sent him on preaching missions throughout Europe. In each place he visited, Anthony left a profound impression, both for the power of his words and for the miracles that began to be attributed to him. One of the first miracles that made him known was the healing of a leper. In one of the villages where he preached, Anthony encountered a gravely ill and destitute man. Moved by compassion, he touched the man and prayed for his recovery. To the astonishment of all present, the leper was instantly healed. This event marked the beginning of a series of miraculous healings that would be one of the distinctive features of his mission. In addition to physical healings, Anthony was also known for his ability to convert hearts. Many people who were estranged from the faith or living in sin found, through his words, a path back to spirituality. His sermons were filled with love, compassion, and wisdom, deeply touching those who heard them and inspiring significant changes in their lives. Throughout his journey, Anthony faced many challenges and adversities, but his faith and determination never wavered. He firmly believed that he was fulfilling a divine mission and that each miracle performed was a manifestation of God's love and power. His life became a living testimony of faith, an inspiring example for all who sought a greater purpose in their own lives. One of the earliest documented miracles of Saint Anthony occurred in his hometown, Lisbon. A neighborhood boy had suffered a serious accident and was on the verge of death. Desperate, the boy's mother sought out Anthony, who, with deep faith, prayed intensely for the boy. Miraculously, the child fully recovered, leaving everyone around in awe and reverence. This event marked the beginning of a series of miraculous healings associated with Saint Anthony. The news of the boy's healing quickly spread throughout the city. People began to seek out Anthony for help with their own problems and illnesses. In each case, his compassion and unwavering faith were evident. He did not see the miracles as his own works, but as manifestations of divine grace, a testimony to God's power working through him. Another notable episode occurred when a young woman was cured of an incurable disease after receiving Anthony's blessing. This miracle further solidified his reputation as a holy man and healer. Each healing strengthened people's faith and increased popular devotion to Anthony. His fame grew not only in Lisbon but also in neighboring regions, attracting crowds seeking his assistance. The miracles were not limited to physical healings. There were also reports of miraculous conversions, where people deeply estranged from the faith returned to the spiritual path after an encounter with Anthony. His ability to touch hearts and transform lives was seen as proof of his holiness. For many, he was an instrument of God, sent to bring light and hope to the afflicted. The healing of the boy from Lisbon was just the beginning of a long series of miracles that would extend throughout Anthony's life. Each miraculous event was a confirmation of his divine mission and a testimony to the power of faith. The stories of these healings and conversions spread, attracting more people to hear his sermons and seek his intercession. Once, during his sermons, Saint Anthony encountered resistance and disbelief from a community. Determined to show the truth of his message, he went to the banks of a river and began to preach to the fish. To everyone's astonishment, the fish emerged in large numbers, as if they were listening to his words. This event not only served as a demonstration of Anthony's humility and power, but also as a powerful reminder of the divine presence in all creatures. The sermon to the fish took place in a small village where the residents refused to listen to Anthony's words. Discouraged but not defeated, he decided to take his message to nature. As he began to preach to the fish, the villagers, curious, followed him to the riverbank. There, they witnessed an extraordinary spectacle. Hundreds of fish gathered, seemingly attentive to the saint's words. This extraordinary event served as a lesson in humility for all present. Anthony demonstrated that God's message is universal and that even the simplest creatures can be receptive to the divine word. The villagers, seeing the fish's reaction, were impressed and began to reconsider their attitudes. Many converted that day, recognizing Anthony's holiness and mission. The sermon to the fish became one of the most famous stories about Saint Anthony, symbolizing his humility and the universality of his message. This miracle showed that true faith knows no barriers and that nature, in its simplicity, can be a powerful ally in spreading the divine word. The story also highlights Anthony's ability to adapt and find creative ways to convey his message. In addition to its spiritual significance, the event also had a profound cultural impact. Artistic representations of the sermon to the fish can be found in churches and museums around the world, perpetuating the memory of this miracle. The image of Saint Anthony preaching to the fish became a symbol of his unwavering faith and unique ability to touch hearts, regardless of circumstances. This miracle also serves as a reminder of the importance of perseverance in faith. Even in the face of resistance and disbelief, Anthony did not give up. He found a way to communicate his message, using nature itself as a witness to his divine mission. This lesson in perseverance continues to inspire many to this day, showing that faith can overcome any obstacle. Finally, the sermon to the fish is a powerful metaphor for the ability to find meaning and beauty in simplicity. Through this miracle, Saint Anthony teaches us that the divine presence can be found in all aspects of creation, inviting us to see the world with eyes of faith and an open heart. On another occasion, a skeptic challenged Saint Anthony to prove the real presence of Christ in the Eucharist. The man, owner of a mule, claimed that if the mule, after 3 days without eating, preferred the sacrament over common food, he would believe. Anthony accepted the challenge and, after the 3 days, led the hungry mule to 2 heaps, one of oats and the other with the Blessed Sacrament. Incredibly, the mule knelt before the Eucharist, ignoring the food. This event became a powerful symbol of the real presence of Christ and Anthony's unwavering faith. The owner of the mule and many others present were deeply impressed by the miracle. The news spread quickly, strengthening the faith of many who doubted the real presence of Christ in the Eucharist. This miracle also highlighted Anthony's humility and simplicity, as he used an animal to reveal a profound spiritual truth. The mule, in its obedience and reverence, became a symbol of faith that transcends human reason. This miracle is often cited in sermons and writings about the Eucharist, reminding the faithful of the importance of devotion to the sacrament. Artistic representations of the miracle of the mule, found in churches and monasteries, perpetuate the memory of this extraordinary event. The story of the mule kneeling before the Eucharist continues to inspire devotees, reaffirming faith in the real presence of Christ in the sacrament. In addition to its spiritual impact, the miracle of the mule also had social repercussions. It demonstrated that faith was not just for the learned, but accessible to all, including the simple and humble. By accepting the skeptic's challenge, Anthony showed that true faith can be lived and witnessed by anyone, regardless of social position or level of education. This miracle is also an example of Anthony's ability to face skepticism with serenity and confidence. He did not seek to impose his faith, but allowed the events to speak for themselves. The mule's response, an irrational creature, served as an eloquent testimony to the spiritual truth, convincing even the hardest hearts. This event continues to be a powerful example of the effectiveness of humble and confident faith. Finally, the miracle of the mule reminds us of the importance of keeping an open mind and heart. The skeptic, upon seeing the miracle, was led to a profound spiritual transformation. This story teaches us that, even amid skepticism and doubt, there is always room for faith and miracles in our lives. Saint Anthony's faith, manifested through this event, continues to be a source of inspiration and hope for many. Another impressive miracle associated with Saint Anthony is that of bilocation, where he was seen in 2 places at the same time. It happened while he was preaching in a distant city, and at the same time was seen in Padua, attending an important meeting of monks. Witnesses in both locations confirmed his presence, describing in detail his actions and words. This miracle reinforced the idea that Anthony had a special gift for being where he was needed, transcending the limitations of time and space. Bilocation is a rare and mysterious phenomenon attributed to a few saints in the history of the Church. In the case of Saint Anthony, the bilocation in Padua had a profound impact on the religious community and the faithful. The news of his simultaneous presence in 2 places spread quickly, causing admiration and strengthening the faith of those who heard the story. This miracle was seen as a confirmation of Anthony's holiness and his divine mission. This event is especially significant because it demonstrates Anthony's deep spiritual connection with God. Bilocation suggests an intimacy with the divine that allows transcending natural laws. For the faithful, this miracle is a reminder of the power of faith and the proximity of God to those who serve him faithfully. Saint Anthony's bilocation continues to be a symbol of his dedication and the spiritual power he possessed. In addition to its spiritual impact, Saint Anthony's bilocation had practical implications for his community. His presence in Padua during the monks' meeting was crucial, as it helped resolve an important conflict that threatened the unity of the order. His ability to be present in two places simultaneously allowed him to serve as a mediator and leader, guiding his religious brothers to a peaceful and harmonious solution. This miracle also highlights Anthony's humility. Despite possessing extraordinary gifts, he never sought recognition or personal glory. His bilocation was not a spectacle but a response to the needs of his community. He continued to live simply and humbly, always focused on serving God and others. This humility is one of the reasons why His Holiness is so revered to this day. Saint Anthony's bilocation is a reminder of the continuous presence of miracles in our lives. Although we may not witness such extraordinary phenomena, Anthony's story inspires us to believe in the power of the divine in our everyday lives. His life and miracles are a testimony of the faith that transforms and elevates, inviting us to live with more hope and confidence in divine providence. One of the most tender and inspiring stories about Saint Anthony is his vision of the child Jesus. During a night of intense prayer and meditation, he had a heavenly vision in which Jesus himself, in the form of a child, appeared to him. The vision was so real and touching that, according to accounts, light emanated from the room where Anthony was, visible to everyone around. This profound and intimate encounter with the divine is one of the most cherished moments in Saint Anthony's life. The vision of the child Jesus was not just a miraculous event, but also a moment of great spiritual consolation for Anthony. He felt an even greater closeness to God and a renewed vigor in his mission. This mystical experience reinforced his faith and dedication, inspiring him to continue his work with even more fervor. The encounter with Jesus in the form of a child symbolizes the purity and simplicity of the faith that Anthony always sought to convey. This miracle is frequently depicted in works of art, where Saint Anthony is portrayed holding the child Jesus in his arms. These images capture the tenderness and divinity of the moment, inspiring devotion among the faithful. The vision of the child Jesus became an icon of Saint Anthony's spirituality, reminding us of the importance of maintaining a pure heart and simple faith. In addition to its spiritual impact, the vision of the child Jesus had a profound effect on the community around Anthony. The people who witnessed the light emanating from his room were deeply impressed. Many converted and renewed their faith, inspired by Anthony's evident holiness. This miracle served as a powerful testimony of God's presence in their lives. The vision also brought a message of hope and renewal. In times of difficulty and doubt, the presence of Jesus as an innocent and pure child offered comfort and inspiration. For the devotees of Saint Anthony, this vision is a constant reminder that God is always present, offering love and hope even in the most challenging circumstances. The vision of the child Jesus highlights the importance of prayer and meditation in the spiritual life. Anthony achieved this mystical experience through his devotion and total surrender to God. This miracle invites us to seek a deeper connection with the divine through contemplation and sincere faith. The life and visions of Saint Anthony are a testimony to the transformative power of dedicated spirituality. Throughout his life, Saint Anthony was responsible for numerous conversions, many of which were seen as miraculous. His sermons, filled with wisdom and compassion, deeply touched people's hearts. On various occasions, individuals living in sin or estranged from the faith found, through Anthony's words, a path back to spirituality. These conversions were not just changes in belief, but profound transformations of life. One of the most notable conversions was that of a young man living a life of excess and vice. After hearing a sermon from Saint Anthony, he decided to completely change his way of life, dedicating himself to charity and prayer. This young man became a living example of the power of Anthony's words, showing that faith can transform even the hardest hearts. His story was a testament to the effectiveness of Anthony's sermons in inspiring real and lasting changes. Another striking example was the conversion of a wealthy merchant known for his greed and dishonesty. After an encounter with Saint Anthony, he was touched by a deep sense of repentance and decided to restore all the goods acquired illicitly. This transformation not only benefited those who had been wronged, but also served as a powerful testimony to the community. The merchant's story spread, inspiring others to reconsider their own actions and seek a more just and honest life. The conversions wrought by Saint Anthony also included those who practiced other religions or were skeptical. In many cases, his sermons managed to break down cultural and religious barriers, leading people from different backgrounds to embrace the Christian faith. These conversions highlight the universality of Anthony's message and its power to resonate with people from all walks of life. His ability to communicate faith in an accessible and loving way made him a true ambassador of spirituality. In addition to individual conversions, Saint Anthony also played a crucial role in revitalizing entire communities. In various cities where he preached, he managed to inspire a spiritual revival, leading entire groups to renew their commitments to faith and adopt holier lifestyles. His influence was so powerful that even local authorities recognized the positive impact of his sermons, often collaborating with him to promote peace and social justice. The miracles of conversion by Saint Anthony are a testament to the power of word and example. He not only preached but lived the principles he taught, showing through his actions the true essence of the Christian faith. His conversions are a reminder that spiritual transformation is possible for everyone, regardless of their past. The life and miracles of Saint Anthony continue to inspire those seeking deep and meaningful change in their lives. One of the most famous miracles of Saint Anthony is the miracle of the bread. In a time of great famine, he was preaching in a city where many people were hungry and desperate. With compassion, Anthony asked the faithful to bring all the bread they could find. After praying and blessing the bread, there was a miraculous multiplication, allowing everyone to eat until they were satisfied. This event not only alleviated the immediate hunger, but also became a symbol of God's providential care for the poor. The miracle of the bread had a lasting impact on the community, reinforcing people's faith and inspiring a spirit of charity. Many who witnessed the miracle were moved to share what they had with those in need, following Saint Anthony's example. This event highlighted the importance of generosity and solidarity, values that Anthony always preached and lived. The multiplication of the bread was a powerful reminder that with faith and love, it is possible to overcome even the greatest challenges. The story of the miracle of the bread spread quickly, reaching many other cities and villages. Everywhere, people began to see Saint Anthony as a defender of the poor and a powerful intercessor. Churches and chapels were dedicated to him, and devotion to the saint grew exponentially. The multiplication of the bread became one of Anthony's most celebrated miracles, inspiring many to follow his teachings of compassion and service to others. Besides its spiritual and social impact, the miracle of the bread also had a profound theological significance. It mirrored the multiplication of the loaves performed by Jesus in the New Testament, establishing a connection between Anthony and Christ himself. This miracle was seen as a continuation of Jesus' acts of mercy, reinforcing the belief in God's continuous presence in the lives of the faithful. The multiplication of the bread became a symbol of the Eucharist, where bread is transformed and shared in communion with Christ. The miracle of the bread also served as a catalyst for the formation of charitable organizations dedicated to feeding the poor. Inspired by Saint Anthony's example, many communities established food distribution programs and support services for the needy. This legacy of compassion and generosity continues to this day, with many charitable institutions bearing Saint Anthony's name and working to alleviate hunger and poverty worldwide. Finally, the miracle of the bread reminds us of the importance of trusting in divine providence and acting with compassion. Through his faith and actions, Saint Anthony showed that it is possible to make a significant difference in the lives of others. His example inspires us to look beyond our own needs and seek ways to help those in difficulty. The multiplication of the bread remains a powerful symbol of hope, faith, and love for others. Saint Anthony is widely known as the Saint of Lost Items. This association began with a specific story in which a young novice had stolen a valuable prayer book belonging to Anthony. After discovering the theft, Anthony prayed fervently for the book to be found. The novice, moved by conscience and divine grace, not only returned the book, but also repented and returned to the path of faith. This event initiated the tradition of invoking Saint Anthony to find lost items. The story of the lost and recovered book spread quickly, and many people began seeking Saint Anthony's intercession to recover their own belongings. Reports of lost items being found after prayers to the saint increased, solidifying his reputation as an effective intercessor. This devotion became a common practice among the faithful, who trusted in Anthony's help in times of need. Besides finding lost items, Saint Anthony is seen as a protector of the needy in a broader sense. Many people turn to him not only to recover material possessions, but also to find guidance, peace, and hope in difficult times. Devotion to Saint Anthony offers comfort and a sense of security, knowing that there is a saint interceding for them and helping to face life's challenges. The association of Saint Anthony with lost items also reflects his mission to recover lost souls. In his sermons and actions, he sought to bring back to the faith those who were estranged, helping them find their way back to God. This spiritual mission of recovery and reconciliation is a central theme in Anthony's life, showing that his concern was not just with material goods, but primarily with the spiritual well-being of people. Devotion to Saint Anthony as the protector of lost items is visible in many cultural practices worldwide. In various communities, there are specific rituals and prayers dedicated to him for recovering lost items. This devotion transcends borders and is a testimony to the trust the faithful have in Anthony's intercession. He is seen as a friend and ally, always ready to help in times of need. Devotion to Saint Anthony teaches us the importance of trusting in divine help and maintaining hope even in situations of loss. His story reminds us that with faith and prayer, we can overcome challenges and find what is lost, be it a material object or a sense of purpose and direction in life. Saint Anthony continues to be a symbol of hope and a spiritual guide for millions of people worldwide. In the last years of his life, Saint Anthony dedicated himself intensely to preaching and teaching. Despite his frail health, he continued to travel and preach, touching the hearts of many with his inspiring words and miracles. Even facing illnesses and physical weaknesses, Anthony did not slow down, maintaining his commitment to serve God and others until the end. During this period, Anthony also wrote several sermons and theological treatises, which became important for the Church. His writings reflected his deep spirituality and wisdom, offering guidance and inspiration for the faithful. These works significantly contributed to his reputation as one of the great doctors of the Church, highlighting his intellectual and spiritual legacy. On June 13, 1231, Saint Anthony died in Arcella, near Padua, at the age of 36. His death was an event of great commotion, and thousands of people attended his funeral to pay homage to the saint who had done so much for them. His dedication, humility, and compassion left an indelible mark on the community, and many began reporting miracles occurring through his intercession soon after his death. The rapid spread of miracle reports led to his canonization in record time. Less than a year after his death, on May 30th, 1232, Pope Gregory IX proclaimed Anthony a saint, formally recognizing his holiness and the miracles attributed to him. This quick canonization was a testimony to the profound impression he left on his contemporaries and the ongoing devotion he inspired. Saint Anthony's canonization not only confirmed his place in the history of the Church, but also further boosted popular devotion. Churches, chapels, and altars dedicated to him began to appear throughout Europe, and his feast was celebrated annually on June 13th. The canonization also reinforced the belief in miracles and the intercession of saints, strengthening the faith of the faithful. To this day, Saint Anthony is remembered and venerated as one of the most popular saints of the Catholic Church. His life and miracles continue to inspire millions of people worldwide. His canonization and recognition of his holiness are a lasting testimony to his dedication to God and service to others, showing that faith and compassion can leave an eternal legacy. After Saint Anthony's death, the miracles associated with him did not cease. On the contrary, many continued to occur, further strengthening devotion to this extraordinary saint. People from all over reported healings, conversions, and miraculous events attributed to his intercession. These posthumous miracles served as a powerful testimony to Anthony's continued holiness and his active spiritual presence among the faithful. One of the most well-known miracles occurred in 1263 when Saint Anthony's body was exhumed and his tomb opened. To everyone's astonishment, his tongue was incorrupt, perfectly preserved even after 32 years of his death. This miracle was seen as a sign of his purity and holiness, especially considering his reputation as an eloquent and inspired preacher. Anthony's incorrupt tongue became a symbol of his divine mission and role as a messenger of God's word. Another notable miracle occurred in Padua, where a woman born blind recovered her sight after praying fervently to Saint Anthony. This event caused great commotion and reinforced the belief in the saint's powerful intercession. Reports of similar healings multiplied, with people of all ages and social conditions testifying to the graces received through their prayers to Saint Anthony. The posthumous miracles also included events of protection and intervention in dangerous situations. On several occasions, people reported being saved from serious accidents or other calamities after invoking Saint Anthony's name. These events reinforced the image of Anthony as a protector and guardian, always ready to help those who turn to him with faith and trust. In addition to physical miracles, many also experienced miracles of peace and spiritual consolation. People facing emotional crises, financial difficulties, or other adversities found comfort and hope through Saint Anthony's intercession. These experiences of spiritual renewal and strengthened faith are a continuous testimony to Anthony's loving and compassionate presence in the lives of the faithful. The tradition of Saint Anthony's miracles after his death continues to this day, with devotees worldwide reporting graces and miraculous interventions. This constant devotion is a testimony to the unwavering faith people have in his intercession. Saint Anthony's posthumous miracles are not just historical events but a living and present reality, inspiring the faithful to seek his help and trust in divine providence. The legacy of Saint Anthony of Padua transcends time and space, leaving an indelible mark on the history of the Church and the lives of millions of faithful worldwide. His miracles, sermons, and acts of charity continue to inspire devotion and faith, showing us all the importance of living a life dedicated to love, compassion, and service to others. The story of Saint Anthony is a living testimony to the transformative power of faith. Through his miracles, Saint Anthony demonstrated God's continuous presence in the world and the intercessory power of the saints. From the healing of the boy in Lisbon to the sermon to the fish, each miracle served as a reminder of divine power and Anthony's unwavering faith. These miraculous events continue to be celebrated and remembered, not just as stories from the past, but as sources of inspiration and hope for the present. Saint Anthony also left us a legacy of humility and simplicity. He chose to live a life of poverty and service, dedicating himself entirely to the well-being of others. His humility is evident in his actions and sermons, where he always sought to uplift others and bring comfort to the afflicted. This example of humility is a powerful reminder of the importance of living a life centered on spiritual values and love for others. Devotion to Saint Anthony remains strong worldwide, with millions of people turning to him in times of need. His prayers are invoked to find lost items, obtain help in difficulties, and seek spiritual guidance. This continuous devotion is a testimony to the faith people have in his intercession and the hope he offers. Saint Anthony continues to be a beacon of faith for many, guiding them through life's storms. Saint Anthony's impact is also evident in the many charitable institutions and community services that bear his name. Inspired by his example of compassion and generosity, these organizations work tirelessly to help the needy and promote social justice. Through these actions, Saint Anthony's legacy lives on, bringing relief and hope to countless lives. His spirit of service continues to inspire acts of kindness and solidarity worldwide. The legacy of Saint Anthony of Padua is a testimony to the power of faith and action. His life, marked by miracles, sermons, and profound love for others, continues to be a source of inspiration and guidance. Through his intercession and example, we are reminded of the importance of living with compassion, humility, and devotion. Saint Anthony's legacy is eternal, a beacon of hope and faith for all generations. May we follow his example and seek closeness with God every day. Saint Anthony of Padua, pray for us.